Listen to this. Sometimes, just sometimes, I feel bad for Dallas Cowboy fans. Now, I know they had success in the 90s. They're on TV every Sunday, called the best franchise in sports. But they haven't seen success in 20 years. And they're actively being held hostage by an 81-year-old crabby man who really doesn't know how to run a football team. Now, instead of hiring from the outside, getting Ben Johnson, they go from within. And they elevate Brian Schottenheimer, who's been the coordinator on offense for the last 2 seasons, but he hasn't called plays. That's been Mike McCarthy's duties after Kellen Moore left. It's such an awful hire. It's such an awful hire. They didn't look at Ben Johnson. They didn't look at Aaron Glenn. They didn't look at Mike Vrabel. They didn't look at Pete Carroll. They didn't even make a phone call, although some people said they did. Reports say they didn't even make a phone call to Deion Sanders because Deion Sanders would want actual power over the team. Power is the problem in Dallas. And you can make a case that the worst thing to happen to the Cowboys was that 1993 Super Bowl. 6 months after Jerry Jones bought the team for $250 million, which was unheard of in that time, he won a Super Bowl as the GM. And he said, I could do this. He won a couple more Super Bowls. 20 years from then, there's been no success because there's only one guy who runs a team. There's no GM. There's no front office. It's just Jerry Jones. It worked in the 90s. It doesn't work like that anymore. The only reason he hired Brian Schottenheimer is because Ben Johnson would want a part of the Bears. Mike Vrabel wanted a part of the Patriots. And Robert Kraft was fine with that. Deion Sanders would definitely want a part of Dallas, but Jerry Jones doesn't want that. He's still stuck in 1993 and is that old crabby man saying, I could do it myself. When we've seen time in, time out, he can't do it himself. Brian Schottenheimer is an awful hire. A 2-year coordinator who didn't even call the plays. They pushed out Jason Garrett. They pushed out Mike McCarthy. They pushed out Tony Romo, always searching for more. Jerry Jones is a power-hungry old man, and the only way that this hire makes sense is because he's power-hungry. And he doesn't want a head coach or anyone in the building that's smarter or knows more or has more say than him. So they hire an unpopular coordinator from within. Did we ever think they would really get Deion Sanders?